Hello, and thank you for your interest in Saturday Academy's Apprenticeships in Science and Engineering program. There's a wealth of information about this program on our website, but in this session, I will provide a general overview of what the program is and how to apply. So the Apprenticeships in Science and Engineering, or ASE for short, has a mission to provide students a meaningful career experience before college. We believe that the professional setting offers so much more to a student than a regular classroom work can alone, and that includes personal growth in addition to STEM skills. Most of our students come out of our program with a better understanding of what it means to be a professional and go on to college with a better understanding of what they may want to major in, oftentimes in the field that their internship was in. So, what are these fields? In 2023, the disciplines of positions offered by ACE included biology, business and entrepreneurship, chemistry, computer science and technology, earth science, engineering, environmental science, finance, healthcare, material science, medical science, and physics. And there could be even more disciplines in 2024 as more positions are submitted by mentors. So, you got to start thinking about where your passions lie and what careers you're interested in pursuing. And if you have a broad set of interests, you could consider applying to positions in a few different fields. Another thing to keep in consideration is that some positions may be more competitive than others. The fewer positions in a given field, the more competitive those positions will be. So it could be a good idea to diversify your application. So what are these apprenticeships? These apprenticeships in science and engineering will give you an in-depth career exploration and a chance to gain valuable professional experience. This here is a picture of Molly, who is a 2022 intern working on turning plastics into fuel. And Molly said, "This is 100% what I want to go into, and polymers is the field of study that I desire. I got home and it was the grossest day ever, and I could do this every day. I'm working towards something important." So ACE can reinforce what you want to do, and it gives you invaluable experience learning about an area of study and bulking up your skills in a particular field. But what if you aren't sure what field you want to work in yet? ACE is also great for you because if you're not sure, this is a great way to test it out. It's better to spend one summer on a certain career path than to go study it for 4 years and then discover at your first job that you don't actually like the day-to-day work. And it's totally okay to change your mind. This is something that you'll learn from a lot of our mentors that they have done as well in their career path. In fact, one of our interns in 2023, Julia, said, "The internship has shifted my perspective on what my life should look like. I feel a lot less stressed about finding the perfect career fit for me, and instead trust that each decision I make will take me closer to where I want to be, regardless of if each choice is perfect." And I think that that's a really wonderful thing to come away from this program with. So what do interns actually do on a day-to-day basis? The internships usually take place in person at the professional environment with mentors at the top of their fields. Some of them do remote work as well, or it could be completely remote, but most interns work with more than one person. They'll meet other people who are working together on a project. They may be working with one particular graduate student. Some will work on one specific project. Other interns will get to sample different projects and contribute in their way to each one. The day-to-day work really varies. Some interns may be in the field, some may be in the lab, some may be doing computer programming, and some interns may be presented with a problem to solve and provided with tools to help solve that problem, or they could be writing proposals to help improve their company or their organization. And finally, everybody presents what they did at the annual ACE Symposium in August, which will be virtual in 2024. Now, if any of this intimidates you, don't be nervous. We don't expect you to know how to do all this stuff before the internship, and that's actually the whole point, is the learning experience. In 2022, Saravi said of her internship at PSU that the internship has made me realize how much there is still to learn in the world. I realized that you don't have to, and you won't know everything going into a job. Every job requires learning and growing. It's not it's not how much you know, but your attitude. It's not how much you know, but your attitude and mindset that matters. So who is eligible for the ACE program? The eligibility is fairly broad. There are eligibility requirements that I will go through in a minute, but I just want to point out that you don't necessarily have to feel like you're a STEM person to apply. It can take a while to really feel like you belong in STEM, but an internship is a great way to start building that relationship with people in the field. For example, this is Salem at OHSU, and during her internship, there were days where they were just in the lab waiting for reactions to happen, and Salem would just chat with the people that she was working with. And she said that this experience of getting to know other people in the lab, it made me feel a strong sense of camaraderie. This memory makes me hopeful that I will be able to bond with fellow researchers in the future and become good friends. So this is a chance to really foster that sense of belonging in research or engineering or whatever field you're interested in pursuing, regardless of if you have prior experience in it. The actual rules for eligibility are listed here on the slide. You have to currently be, as you're applying, in 9th, 10th, or 11th grade. And unfortunately, if you are graduating in 2024, you will not be eligible since you have already graduated before the internship starts. You should have some interest in the STEM fields, but again, you don't necessarily have to have prior experience. Another important thing to really pay attention to in your application is location. Our positions are primarily located in Oregon and Southwest Washington, and you need to live within 50 miles of a position because we will be having at least one person event. And while we're able to help provide transportation to that event, you will need to be able to get to the meeting point for transportation, and you will also need to be able to transport yourself to your internship if it's in person, which a lot of them will be. You should check the individual position descriptions for the location of the internship and the prerequisites to see if there are any other factors you need to know for eligibility. Some of the internships do have age restrictions. Some of them have classes they like for you to have taken. So please read those prerequisites carefully to make sure that the position you're applying for, is one that will be able to accept you. What is the time commitment for the ACE program? So I'm not going to lie, this is a pretty big time commitment. The internships are 8 to 10 weeks between June and the end of August, depending on your mentor preferences. There are also 3 required events: orientation, the Midsummer Conference, and the symposium. Depending on when you get out of school, you will likely have a start date the week of June 20th. And the internship should all be completed by August 23rd. For the majority of the internships, students are expected to complete up to 320 hours, including ACE events. For part-time internships, which the part-time internships will be indicated in the online position description, the minimum number of hours is 160. You will work with your mentor to set up your schedule. For the most part, interns work Monday through Friday during standard working hours, but some internships will be more of a part-time dynamic. And if the internship is part-time, it will say so in the position description. You also need to think about transportation time. So getting to your internship, if it is in person, we cannot provide transportation beyond the transportation for the one midsummer conference. So you need to start thinking about how you will attend your internship and factor in those hours as well into the time commitment. What sort of support are you going to be getting through this process? We at Saturday Academy provide a lot of support throughout this whole process. You are not on your own. During the application window, we have a lot of workshops and guides that can be found online. We've got a virtual cover letter workshop. We've got virtual cover letter workshops coming up, so make sure to check our website under the events page for those. We also have a web page about doing tips for interviews, since some of the mentors do hold interviews for their positions. And we as ACE staff work full-time to support you, so you can always reach out if you have questions or issues. We also hire teachers during the summer to help you work through any issues, and they can facilitate the relationship between you and your mentor if needed. And they'll be conducting interviews with you to see how things are going so we can properly advocate for you as a student. So at orientation, which is one of those events that we'll host, you'll meet your teacher monitors, and you'll also get the chance to meet other interns participating in our program. We also have a midsummer conference where we'll have fun workshops and a chance to meet those interns again, and some information for preparing for the symposium, which is the final concluding event of the summer where everyone will present their work that they've completed. Lastly, I do want to highlight that we are giving out a learning stipend to every intern this year to cover expenses, and that will go out to you in two payments, one at the beginning of the summer and one at the end. A quick note about COVID, it is still out there and we still need to be taking precautions. So we are deferring to the mentor organizations to set their safety protocols and communicate them to interns. Interns are expected to review mentor policies and Saturday Academy policies and sign a waiver and agreement that they understand what is expected for them for safety. Now, the good news is we are able to offer mostly in-person internships this summer, depending on the organization's primary work mode. Some offices will be working remotely. Each position's intention to be in-person or virtual will be listed in the position description, so please read that carefully. So why ACE? So we just want to highlight some of the cool benefits of being an ACE intern, or even just applying for the ACE program. One is that some schools offer credit for this career experience, so you should ask your counselors about getting that credit. Two, the ACE program looks great on college applications, including the fact that ACE mentors usually end up being really good letter writers for those college recommendations. Besides getting those recommendations, you also develop a good relationship with mentors and other people in the field, so that opens doors for future opportunities and networking. We've even had some ACE applicants connect with a mentor during the interview process, and even though they weren't selected for that particular internship, they kept in touch with that mentor and were able to do volunteer work with them in the future. So even just applying is a way to build your network. We also invite ACE applicants to participate in events, workshops, and classes. So it's good to be on our list of applicants. Even if you don't get a position there, there might be other opportunities for you. So how do you apply? First off, it is imperative that you know that the deadline is March 8th, 2024, and that there are no exceptions to that deadline. The components of the application are your basic contact info, which will be the first thing you enter since the application is on our website and it has you create a profile. Now, if you've already applied to ACE before, you can use that same account, but if your family has registered for Saturday Academy classes, you will probably need to create and use a different email address to create this account. And this account should be your own. As the student, we want you to take responsibility for doing this application. You will also need a transcript from your school. You will need 2 adult recommendations from people who are not related to you, but know your skills and experience well. You will also need to write a cover letter, or sometimes multiple cover letters, but I'll talk more about that in a minute. Finally, you need to include your preferred positions. So you'll look at the position options and choose up to 3 to apply to, rank them as first, second, and third preference. We want you to put in the time to review the different positions so that you can make the best choice for you. Please, in your application, do not include any extra materials beyond what we ask for here. It will be removed from your application, and that includes hyperlinks embedded in your cover letter. Here is an example of what an official transcript should include. An official or unofficial transcript should include your school information, your information, and the academic history, which means the classes you've taken and the grades you've received. If you are currently in a term that is ending soon, it is a good idea to wait until the term ends before submitting, so that you can submit the most recent transcript as long as it's before the application deadline, because that will show what you've done and what classes you're going to take between now and the beginning of the ACE program. Please note that grade reports or online printouts of semester grades will not be accepted. We really need an official transcript or an unofficial transcript to include all the proper information. A few tips for getting selected. Again, the first and most important tip is do not miss the application deadline. The deadline is March 8th, and there are absolutely no exceptions. And that deadline also applies to the letters of recommendation. Adults forget things, adults make mistakes, and it is your responsibility to make sure your recommenders are getting their letters in on time. It's a great idea to ask your recommenders for letters early on in the application process so that they have plenty of time to submit the letters before the deadline. So, cover letters. The cover letter is your chance to share information that hasn't been shared via your transcript or recommendations. Now, there is also an option to write cover letters that are tailored towards specific positions. So please take a look at our cover letter writing guide on our website. Everyone needs to write one general cover letter that is broad and doesn't talk about any of the positions you're applying for, just skills, experience, and interests. However, it is a great idea to write additional cover letters that are tailored for the positions that you are applying for. Mentors love when they get a position-specific cover letter. To help you learn more about the cover letter writing process, we have several free cover letter writing workshops that will be posted on our events page of the Saturday Academy website. When writing your cover letters, we really recommend writing and storing them somewhere other than our website, such as Google Docs, because the website sometimes experiences glitches, and we would hate for you to lose all of your hard work. Plus, it allows you to reference those cover letters for future use. We are here to help you with the cover letter writing process, but it's also important to mention that there might be other sources in your life that you can ask for help. Hello, Evan, welcome, welcome. Most adults have experience writing cover letters, so really think about who in your life could already be a good resource for you. Now, to start the application process, you will go to our website and find the Career Pathway Exploration tab. Under this, you will see a drop-down menu of options, and you are going to want to click the top option, which reads Be an Intern. From there, that will bring you to our landing page, which can direct you to different parts of our website. And there's really a wealth of information all over, so feel free to click around. But if you're ready to apply, you'll want to look for the Browse Internship option and click that. This will show you all of the positions that have been posted so far. There will be a brief description of the position, as well as the prerequisites and any age requirements for the position. If you meet the requirements and are interested in the position, you would then click Learn and Apply, which will bring you to a detailed description of what the internship is. If you're still interested at that point, you would add the internship to your locker, which is our website's way of storing the positions that you're interested in. Once you have the positions in your locker, there will be an opportunity to view your locker. And it will look like this with all the different positions that you have picked and are interested in. And you will have the option here to click Apply to these internships, and that will take you to the beginning of the application process. Now, we are currently collecting positions from mentors and will continue to add positions through the application period, as some mentors will be submitting later as they secure their funding. Joining our email list is a great way of staying updated on what positions are being added. The link is here, and the link is also going to be available on our website to sign up for our mailing list. Another great resource on our website is the ACE application guide. which will give you an in-depth view of what is required on the application and how to complete it. Finally, feel free to use us as a resource. You can email us at our email address, which I will share with you in a second, but also make sure to thoroughly check the application guide on our website, as there really is a wealth of information stored there. The application guide can be found under the Be an Intern section of our website. But if you still have questions, here's our email address, ace@saturdayacademy.org. We are more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing all of your applications this season.